You guys survived that, I think it was an 11-0 run by Seattle in the final 5 minutes. Just kind of how gutsy was that to pull that out?
It was very gutsy. Every win ain't going to be pretty. So I'm happy that we kept our composure even though Seattle went on an 11-0 run. We've been through situations like that, but at the end of the day, we just stayed together and we talked about it and we moved on to the next play.
I also think it shows the growth that we've had as a team, because early in the season we were just so inconsistent, and if teams were to do that, we would normally lose those games. But it just shows that we're getting closer, we're trusting each other, and we're just, I think that's the biggest part, is trusting and knowing that we can win those games even if they go on runs.
To your point about the consistency,
yeah.
There's been a lot of ups and downs in the WNBA this season.
Mm-hmm.
To take care of business in a winning streak like this, what does that sort of say about how this team's come together?
Yeah, Seattle's a great team, a great team, and it's hard to play here. And so we knew that. We knew that they just came off kind of a bad loss against LA. And so they were hungry for a win. But for us, it's not about other teams. It's about our standard. It's about stacking the days. And I think that where our mental's at as a team and as individuals, we're in a really good spot. And, it's not going to be easy moving forward. But I think today we stayed true to the scout. We trusted the offense. Kelsey has been having a hell of a season. She was a little bit off, but she facilitated for us offensively down the stretch. And it just shows that everyone has something to give, even if your scoring's not going to be there. But I don't know, I'm just proud of our team, and I'm proud that we stacked today.
Sophie talked about how if this was May or June, you guys might not have been able to pull out this game, especially with Seattle's 11-0 run. Just what does it say to the growth the team has had and how they're able to kind of find a little bit of consistency in this game?
I think it says a lot. They know one another a little bit better now. We're maturing in how we handle situations and how we handle runs. We stayed neutral. We didn't get too high. We didn't get too low. Look, this league is tough, and teams are going to make runs. And this is a veteran team in Seattle who understands the ebbs and flows of a game and made plays when they needed to make plays. And I was proud of our group for how we stayed, not just together, because we always stay together, but how we stayed even. And we came down and we went to the next play. We made some big plays in key moments that allowed us to win the ballgame.
I think there was one last year, but I think this ties the longest winning streak since the catch era. What does it say to be able to do that without Caitlin?
I think it says a lot about this group. I mean, we've got a deep team. We've got a great mix of veterans who have been in this league and who understand the ebbs and flows and who understand, that injuries are a part of it, and young players who continue to grow in their role, continue to gain confidence. I think I said it early when C was out the very first time, while we don't like it, sometimes it can be a blessing in disguise because everybody else finds themselves, right? And no one is afraid to make the big play, offensively or defensively. And so I think it's just, we got a really good group that's unselfish, that want to win, that play well together and for each other. And when one person doesn't have it, somebody else does. And I think it makes this really, really difficult to scout when that happens.
Will you talk about how the team felt Dominique Malonga's presence today? Everything she did doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but would you talk about how you guys felt her presence?
Yeah, I mean, certainly she's grown since the last time we played them. Her confidence, her sense of urgency might not be the right word, but just demanding the ball, aggressive when she gets it, hunting opportunities to get to her spots, and I think she did a great job of that. She's a tough cover because of her length. She's getting stronger, you can tell that, and doing a great job of understanding where she's going to get her touches. So she was definitely a challenge for us. And that's a young player that's just going to continue to grow and continue to get better, and she's going to be a force that's not going to be fun to reckon with throughout the course of her WNBA career.
You had a player not similar to Dominique, but Boston, and that took a moment to kind of grow and get her feet under her in the league. When you talk about Boston's development for your team, how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, AB's been huge for us. She's really been the key. She came into this league predominantly playing on the low block, getting a lot of post touches. When she was in college and her rookie year, and then last year, her first year with Caitlin, playing a lot in the two-man, and then this year we're asking her to be a facilitator as well, and a hub for us on the offensive end of the floor, while being more versatile on the defensive end than she probably has ever been. And she's just continued to step up to the challenge and grow and be better. She's really the rock of our team. She's even keeled. She's high IQ. Everybody trusts her on both ends of the floor, and she's our backbone, and she's been tremendous for us all year long. And you see when teams key on her defensively and they're not allowing her to get scores, she finds the open player and she makes the right play, and that's huge for us.
What do you think on the sidelines that Seattle had multiple looks at the Titans right in the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, my stomach was doing flips there. I felt like they did a really good job of executing. We didn't do quite as good a job of anticipating action and communicating screens. We got fortunate that they didn't fall. The last possession that Gabby's look, we were trying to take a foul, in that situation so that we wouldn't give them another look. It didn't get called or didn't foul her enough, I don't know. But, we tried to minimize those opportunities, but I thought their execution was really good.